All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Profit in Your PJs. It is bright and early here on the West Coast. It is absolutely gorgeous outside, and fall is in the air. It's our changes here in Southern California are so subtle, but this morning I was noticing that it was feeling kind of crisp outside, and it's wonderful to be home. We do this every single Tuesday morning, rain or shine. I don't think I've missed one since we started doing it, and with the help of Teresa Walbrink and Karen DeSantis in my absence the last 2 weeks. I just want to give a big shout out and say thank you so much. Your trainings were invaluable. They are up on my YouTube channel. So if you guys have not had a chance to see them, or you have any team members that didn't tune in, please go back there, subscribe, and you will get the notifications every time we put up new videos. So quick couple things that I want to talk about this morning, and that is where we are in the month, kind of some upcoming things that are happening. We know that we've got some amazing September promotions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I know we talk about this every week, but front and center, there's great money on the table for the drawing, just for doing activities we shouldn't be doing anyway. There's great money in unlocking the vault and trip volume that we have here for you guys as well, and really amazing things happening this month in terms of promotion. So I hope that you guys are taking advantage of all of those. I'm not going to pull up a slideshow today and go through all those and train you on all of the promotions, because they're right there and they're in your back office. Most of you are taking advantage. By the way, those of you that are posting up on Destination Success as you do your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, awesome. I love seeing that. I love that everybody will continue to encourage each other and get excited about it. I think that's really big. Speaking of trip volume and trips, congratulations, Jenny and Stuart Slappy, level 2 trip earners already. And then of course, Sarah Sespico and Robbie Stroud both have also earned the trip. We have, I just was looking this morning, you guys, there's at least another half a dozen or maybe a dozen of you that literally will probably hit sometime this week. So congratulations on all of your big success. I just so appreciate watching that and seeing all of you run. I'm running for it too. I'm getting closer and closer, inching every single day. And it's fun to watch you guys doing the same. So I want to talk this morning specifically about our core value number 9. So if you guys have never seen this before, it is not our 10 core commitments, but our core values. It's on page 2 of your success planner, and they're really amazing. And it really is sort of our commitment to excellence and our commitment to our mission statement. If you look at all of those and read them, but I've had a favorite one since I got started in this business, and it's core value number 9, and that's dream big and act on it daily. And I have to be perfectly transparent and tell you that when I got started here, I had not been dreaming. I was concerned about debt. I wasn't sleeping well at night. Was on the verge of losing my home. You guys know me now. You know my story, but it was a really tough time, and I had stopped dreaming big. And I remember reading those core values and thinking, okay, yeah, whatever, I'll get to that dreaming thing later. And then as I began to read and began to learn and began to hang out with the winners and the people that really were going in the direction and really were in a place that I wanted to be in my life, I recognized the importance of dream boards and vision boards and having clarity in something that you see, even though in faith, even though you don't actually see it in front of you. And I love, what's the name of the book? I'll think of it in a second. I'm actually just drawing a blank on it, but I've read it and reread it a couple times. I actually got it on audio again recently just because I liked it so much. It's the magic of dreaming big, the magic of thinking big. And it's an incredible book. If you haven't read it, definitely get it, read it, get it on audio, because it is so good. And I remember reading that and thinking, you know, I really do have to start considering, you know, things on my vision board. And so I had crazy things on my vision board to begin with, things that would just never in a million years happen. I had way back when, some of you might remember the story, but one of the things I put on my vision board was a card that I got, and it was an electronic card, greeting card, that I had gotten from my sponsor in my last business. And the cover of the card said, "Anna Camp makes a living living." And it was the picture of Success from Home magazine. And my old sponsor had superimposed my picture on there. And I kept that card and hung on to it. And I just thought, oh, that's really cute. And it was on my vision board. And it was on my very first vision board. And I had pictures on that vision board of a closet someday, a man's closet that would someday be for my husband, because my poor husband was, when we first got married, clothes were relegated to a garage closet because there wasn't enough room inside the house. And there were other things on that vision board that you know, over time came true. And I had taken this vision board, and we had to move out of the home that we were in, and we moved into a condo for a while. And during that time, I had gotten busy getting started with this business, and I'd gotten so busy that I hadn't unpacked all of the boxes. And 6-7 months later, my husband ran across my vision board in the garage, and he had brought it into the house. And when I looked at the vision board, it was just mind-blowing, because on that vision board was superimposed that card, Anna Camp Makes a Living Living, Success from Home magazine, and my picture on the front of it. And literally, after bringing that vision board in, within 3 days of that, I got an email from the company saying, "We want to feature you in Success from Home magazine." And you guys, I get chills when I think about it, because I've had a lot of time over these last 12 days of being on vacation to really reflect on some of these things that I had stopped dreaming about, some of the things I thought about, had sort of forgotten about, that were on my vision board. But when I pulled that vision board out this morning and took a look at my old vision board, so many of those things came true. I'm going to turn my camera off for just a second. I'm going to grab that vision board. One sec. Okay, so that's the beauty of this Profit in Your PJs. I have PJs on the bottom, so I didn't want you guys to see that. Okay, so this was my original vision board, and here is that card superimposed on here that I was talking about. And there's also pictures on here of some places that I wanted to go and some things I wanted to do. There's the dream closet someday. Let's see, there, for my husband. One of the things that was also on my vision board back then, as I said, on here I had, "Lord, send me 7 strong, independent, motivated team playing leaders that are going to build this thing with or without me. They don't need my help, and they're going to lead their own sales force." And right about the time when I pulled my vision board out, I also, almost simultaneously, I hadn't seen it in about 6 months. It had been in my garage, but I had literally, it was in front of my desk. I looked at it every single day. Did I read it? No. Did I focus on any certain picture? No. But it was there. It was in my eye line. It was in my subconscious. It was working and working and working for my good without me even knowing it. And so there's many more things on there, but one of the things that where I'm going with this is that when I read that, "Lord, send me 7 strong, independent, team playing, motivated leaders who can do this thing without me," I had just helped to promote my 7th national marketing director. And so my vision board has evolved over time. I've kept this because it's my original one. There's a watch on my vision board. My husband has not seen my vision board probably, oh my gosh, in at least 5 years. He could probably has no idea what's on it because it's not in front of me now. My vision board is in a movie. I have a video that's my mind movie. Crazy enough, last year for our 10th wedding anniversary, he bought me the very watch that was on my vision board. Now, he didn't know that was on my vision board. It was a watch that he picked out because he loved it. So it's crazy how these things work. But I have not, I got thinking about this recently. I have not taken a vacation ever in my life. I've never taken a full week off, ever. Not because I can't or not because I don't want to, just because I think I'm wired. I love to work. I love what I do. I love this business. And so this year for my 60th birthday, my husband surprised me with a trip. And I didn't have a lot of input in planning the trip. But what was really crazy about this, you guys, is that, and my husband's never seen my mind movie. So remember now, my vision board is no longer like you see it like this, how I originally made it. But what I did was I took all kinds of pictures and I put them all into a video, and I did it through an app, so it's easy. It's really, I'm not that technology gifted, but technologically gifted. But so I put it all in a mind movie, and in my mind movie, my husband's never seen it. And here we are on this trip. For those of you that don't know, it was a trip to Italy. We decided, or we kind of, he sort of decided, he did really plan the whole trip, but kind of together we decided just to make it Italy so that we were just seeing one country and a lot of it. We began the trip in Rome, and we saw multiple cities. I'm going to share the trip with you in just a minute. But what was amazing is there were moments on this trip that I was literally standing in the spot that was in my mind movie. And I say this to you because you guys can have every single thing you want here. You can go anywhere, you can do anything, you can have whatever you want, but you've got to see it in your mind first. You've got to decide that you want it. You've got to really start moving yourself toward it with the emotion that you already have it. And I really am a firm believer of this, and that this is something that every single person can do. So if you don't have a vision board and you haven't put things up, maybe your thing's not travel. That's okay. Maybe your thing is, that you want to do some kind of philanthropy work. Maybe you want to, help build a missionary trip. You want to go on a missionary trip, or maybe you want to pay off some bills, or maybe it's something that's really seems very small on the scale of the trip I just took, because I started with some very small things. One of the things I have on here, be bold enough to pray, wise enough to learn, and determined to go on no matter what. That was big. That was I just wanted to focus on that one thing. I didn't want anything special. I didn't necessarily want to go anywhere. A lot of this developed over time. But what I want to do is share with you this morning what this trip looked like, in the hopes that you guys will create a vision board, that you guys will dream, and that you will dream big. Because what I want to tell you is, listen, what's happened here for me over the last 7.5 years is not without sacrifice. It is not without a lot of time and energy and effort. It's not without a ton of fear, working through fear, through challenges, through wonderful people that I've loved and poured my soul into that have decided to go on and do something else. It's not without building and building and then rebuilding and then rebuilding again. It's not without any of the trials and tribulations that any of you have not gone through or won't go through. But what I want you to know is it's worth it. It is worth every single minute. I'm going to get emotional. That you can put into this business, every single minute, because it will happen for you if you stay steady, if you really want it. So I really want to encourage you to dream and dream big. So I'm going to show you some pictures just so you guys can kind of get the idea. I kind of have to be honest. I went around and around about this because I'm not a person that likes to attract attention to myself. And so I've had so many people say, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see the pictures. And oh my goodness, tell me about what you did. And so I thought, all right, I'm just gonna give you a quickie on the trip. Now this is not gonna be in order because I just didn't have time to get it all over. We literally had thousands of pictures. But the first pictures start on the Amalfi Coast. So the order of the trip was we flew from LAX to Rome. We flew business class. It was absolutely incredible. We flew on a plane called the Dreamliner, which is specifically geared towards stopping jet lag because they pump oxygen in and whatever. But it was an amazing flight. We arrived late at night. And we started in Rome. So we started in Rome. From Rome, we went to Florence. We took a train to Florence. Then we went to Venice. From Venice, we went to Milan and then Lake Como. And from there, we flew south to Naples. And from Naples, we went and saw the Amalfi Coast. So this is the Amalfi Coast, and this is climbing the stairs in the town square. Here's a picture of my husband. This is a picture actually from the villa that we stayed in. And we called this the Tower, and you'll see in a minute why, but he's just standing here. This was the view from our room, and in this tower that we stayed, it was not only an incredible view, but we were really situated away from everything. And you'll see a picture that shows you that in a second. But this is in Amalfi, and this is the church square. You guys may or may not know, some of you have seen my Mind movie. My Mind movie has this exact car in it. So pretty crazy that you can create something on your dream board and then have it run into it quite a bit on your trip. The one on my Mind movie is actually in red, but this is a cute car. So this was the view from our villa. It was the Tower Villa, so you could see the town of Amalfi there in the background. And about 30 minutes by boat ride is Sorrento, which is, Positano, which is absolutely beautiful. And I show you some pictures of that. But lots of crazy signs all over showing you the way to go. This was actually the Tower Villa. So this is what it looked like, the villa that we stayed in. This was a total surprise to me, and such an amazing spot. This was the pool. So we overlooked the pool, and of course, the ocean, and here you can see it from another view. But it was really a fun, crazy place to stay. And there we are outside, leaning outside the tower window, and you can see in the background. But here's some more of Amalfi. And for me, I had never seen any of this kind of stuff except for in pictures. So it was really fun to see the really close streets, the buildings, the history, how old everything was. This is on Lake Como. This is the town of Bellagio, and you can drive all the way around the lake to get to it. But we decided to take a car one day and take an excursion and take the ferry across to Bellagio, and it is amazing. Now I know how they named the hotel in Las Vegas after the Bellagio. Anik, I know you're listening in today. Anik is from Switzerland, and I saw you on here earlier, and I know you're probably thinking, okay, Anna, why didn't you visit me? But we'll get to that. I'll have to come see you in Switzerland. But we were so close because Lake Como is just right up there on the border of Italy and Switzerland. So this is the Bellagio. This is the town of Bellagio. And Bellagio has all these little teeny tiny stairs and steps and corridors and hallways. And this is another view of the harbor. This was some of the shopping that was there. Of course, I had to show some shopping, but lots of these little tiny walkways, the whole town is tiered. And so, there's just multiple levels of tiers and all these little tiny corridor walkway staircases that you get up. This was really fun, being able to get on a Vespa and do that part. Everybody rides Vespas around there. This is moving now to Capri, which is off the coast of Amalfi and Positano. It's a wonderful little island built on a rock. It's really quite fun, but this is a very special arch. We took a private boat around the island and through that arch, and this is the view from the top of Capri, overlooking the coastline. And this is one of the really great highlights, which is the Blue Grotto. So you go around the island and you take these little tiny boats into this Blue Grotto, and the water is just magnificent. So this is the harbor of Capri. This is us from the lookout point overlooking the harbor. And then we're moving to Florence. So these are out of order, but this is what Florence looks like. So if you've never been, please visit Florence. It is absolutely beautiful. We stayed in the background there, just right in a wonderful little hotel there. But Florence is famous for the Duomo, which is one of their cathedrals. And this, you just could not even capture any of these things in pictures. I actually ran into a girlfriend that I had not seen in years while in Florence. And of course, my husband, David, had to visit the statue of David. And you see, he's got his hand there, making sure that, and of course, the food, I would be remiss if I didn't show you some of the great food and some of the dining. This was a huge highlight. This is Lake Como. So we stayed at Villa del Este, and it is the #1 hotel in the world. And this is the day that we spent out on the lake on a private boat, touring the lake and seeing George Clooney's place, and of course, lots of other amazing villas around the lake. So you're going to get to see, this was Alessio, our wonderful driver that I connected with on Instagram, believe it or not. And he is only 20 years old. He's lived there forever, and he gives private tours. So it was really fun to hear from his perspective. This is the boat dock and what the boat looked like. This was actually the road to around Lake Como. So the day we went out and drove, that's what it looks like. Of course, again, there's my favorite car. So this was Villa del Este. And the beautiful floating pool. This was an amazing restaurant with the best view overlooking Lake Como, and amazing. And some of the streets I just thought are so adorable and so amazing. This is what it looks like, you guys. It's a must visit. Here's a view of the grounds from Villa del Este. It's just magnificent. It's really beyond what you could imagine. The interior, and then around the lake. That was, wait a minute. Let me see if I've got it here. I have George Clooney's house somewhere. Let me go back. I think that was it. Oops. I stopped my share. Hang on. There we go. Let me go back. I think that was it. Hopefully you guys can see these pictures okay. And I want you just to know that it is worth every minute to dream big. This is George Clooney's house, his villa on the lake. And of course, it would be remiss without fresh lemons. We spent time in Rome. We got to see the Colosseum, the interior of the Colosseum. What I didn't know is any round theater like this has no backstage. So the backstage for the Colosseum is actually underground. It's 3 stories. And everything would come up from underground onto the center of the Colosseum. And so the Colosseum stairs, this is Rome overlooking the city at night. This is the Sistine Chapel, which was amazing, unbelievable. That was probably the #1 highlight of the entire trip. Rome, the Spanish Steps, faith, this is the exterior of the Vatican, and then a lot of the different sites of the Vatican and some of the art that you see there as well. And of course, we traveled by train quite a bit. This was the first class cabin in a train, and they're just amazing. If you've never been on, I had never been on a train in Europe before, and these go about 175 miles an hour, so they're very fast and very sleek. And then of course, Venice. And Venice is everything that you've ever seen in a picture. So this looks like any picture you've ever seen anywhere, and it just in person is amazing. It's way bigger than I thought. It's just way more magnificent. You get lost, you walk forever. It's canals upon canals upon canals. And here you see some of the great sights of what Venice looked like. This was a super rainy day, and so the really fun of this trip was being spontaneous. So we decided to leave Venice a day early and head out. And last but not least, I was pretty exhausted after this trip. You're only really seeing a portion of it, but I mainly wanted you guys to see some of these pictures and just get an idea of what it's like to dream big, put it on your vision board. Every single thing that you do today in your Neora business matters. There's nothing that can net you more for your life, whether it's just paying off some debt, $500 to $1,000 a month, you're dreaming really big, you want to fire your boss, you want to take a trip, whatever it is that you want, you can have it, and you can have it all. And so I really today hope that you guys take away from this a vision of something for your future that you want to do. If you ever want to go to Italy, I got some great tips for you. And I'm excited to now change my vision board and change my mind movie and put some new and exciting things on there. But with that, you guys, I am just so honored to be part of this team. Please post up what you guys are doing for 54321. If you missed last night's Zoom, I did post it up in Destination Success as well. Steve Lee and I, Steve Lee did the majority of the Zoom. It was amazing. Really talking a lot about right now is the time. Right now is the time. This is considered the golden months in network marketing, and that's this fall time, September, October, November. Obviously going into December as well, but these 3 months right now leading up to it are the magical months for this business. And so there are people right now waiting for what it is that we have, whether it's the products or the business or anything else. So you guys go out there and make it a great day. I just adore you. Don't forget to get on the CUC call this afternoon, and in all that you do, show up and be fabulous. Thanks for tuning in, you guys.